Hi, I'm Christopher Mintz-Plasse, and you're listening to Matthew Koma from Winnetka Bowling League on Bothering the Pod, my favorite band, my favorite human, and my favorite podcast.
All right. Icebreaker question, Matt. What are you looking forward to today?
Um, I had severe food poisoning last night, so I'm looking forward to not throwing up for the entirety of tonight.
Oh my goodness.
I don't know if I'm totally rooting for myself though, because you're not supposed to really have coffee or anything after a night such as that, but it's like headache and productivity or stomach ease, so I'm trying to balance it.
I wish you all the luck. Godspeed, my friend.
But yeah, that's what today's looking like. Just hopefully smooth sailing.
Again, best of luck. So we had your buddy Christopher of Color Vision on recently.
Sweet. I don't like that guy very much, but it's nice that he considers me a friend.
Well, he loves you. And so we were going back and forth who we were going to have first. It just worked out this way. We didn't plan it this way. So we got him first, and we asked him what we should ask you, and this is what he said. He rattled off a lot of shit, um, some of which I'm like, I can't. Come on, man, I can't ask. I don't know this person. Uh, and so he just asked, when will you
But
finally get a bass player?
to give you the tonality of our relationship, and how far it goes, yesterday I asked his permission to put his phone number on one of our band's t-shirts. So it goes pretty far. It's
Okay.
the boundaries don't really exist. So I say that mostly for your comfort of when I know that the source material is coming from him, there's no embarrassment for you to bear.
Okay, fair enough. I'm gonna touch on the phone number in a second, but he asked, when are you gonna finally get a bass player in the band?
We don't need it. Never.
Okay, you hear that, Chris? Never.
And that is personally directed toward him. That's not any slag toward any other bass players, just toward him.
Yeah, so if you want to feature, if like Flea was like, I want to jam out with you guys or something like that, you would totally
Yeah,
do it.
like honestly, we'd be really open to it, except for the fact that Christopher Mintz-Plasse today. So no.
Oh, that's hilarious. My best friend's name is Chris as well. And for 20 something years, he's had the same phone number. He was like the first of our friends to get a cell phone. I've written his phone number like everywhere I travel.
Oh yeah,
And then I've published a bunch of books, but one of the books I put his phone number in it. Also just to make sure to see if he ever read it or not. So I know he would call me out. I don't think he's read it.
I feel like I almost just put his phone number on the t-shirt without saying anything, but I don't know. Maybe my stomach bug was showing up early, and I thought it was nerves, but it really was just sickness, and I responded to it by asking his consent, which I shouldn't have. I should not have asked for his consent. I should have just put it on the t-shirt.
I think it's a little dicier. He's a public figure, like
That's what makes it great, though.
yeah.
People will be like, "What's his phone number?" And then Chris picks up. It'd be great. It would probably take him a minute to put it together until he like came to a show and then saw it on our t-shirt. He'd be like, "What the fuck?"
Oh man, this is a funny story. My buddy worked. You remember the show Bored to Death? It was on HBO with Jason Schwartzman.
Love. That's one of my all-time favorite TV shows.
Oh, this is great. So my buddy was a PA on that show, and he was in like the accounting, the office side of that. And so he had everyone's contact.
Yeah,
And this is, a long, long time ago. We were young and dumb, and we called Ted Danson.
yeah, of
And he
course.
did he didn't pick up, but no joke, about 6 minutes later he called back and goes, "Hey, is someone looking for Ted?" And we like panicked. We were like, "Oh no, wrong number," like totally didn't take advantage of the situation, but I
When I
kind
was
of
in like school, because I played in bands really early on and would somehow acquire phone numbers of other people in bigger bands. That was a big thing we'd do senior year. We'd sit around the lunch table and just crank call. I remember us calling. God, he's since passed, so now I feel bad. But we'd call Rich Cronin, one of the guys from LFO, that boy band.
Yeah, of
And like
course.
he'd get so mad at us. He'd be like, "I'm gonna fuck your mother." Like it was so absurd. And for these like giddy 17-year-olds, we're like, "Oh my God, we got to him." It was so stupid. Um, that being said, I would still totally do that. So I don't know if I've grown out of it or not.
In the same vein, this is how Bothering the Band started. It's like it was during the pandemic. We're like, how can we befriend our favorite musicians? And it's since working. So
That's fun. That is a fun excuse.
we'll put your phone number in the episode notes.
Put it in the yeah.
Yeah. Well, what should we ask? What should we have asked Chris if we had gotten you first?
Why he never why he never had a face-to-face conversation with me about not being on the bowling team anymore. Because our band, Winnetka Bowling League, is named after. So me and my now wife,
Mhm.
we broke up, period. And while we were broken up, we were not married yet. We were just dating. And while we were broken up, Chris was like, "You should join my family's bowling league." And the bowling league was him, his dad, and his brother, and me, who's never bowled before. And they're all like very good bowlers who have lives. So I joined their bowling league, which was at Winnetka Bowl in Winnetka, California. And it was just as I was like starting this band, and whenever I wrote like the first song that felt like, oh, I think this is the direction, it was the song on the five. It was the night that we had bowling league, so I just named the song Winnetka Bowling League on my way to the thing. Um, and then I got just busier with the band, and we had a bunch of touring and stuff. So Chris just sort of kicked me off the team, but never told me. I just wasn't getting emails or invited back. And anytime I bring it up to him, he really avoids it. So I'd like to know, I would have asked you to ask him the real reason, which probably is just that I'm not very good at bowling and he takes it seriously. So he probably wanted his team to be better than I could help them be. But I would have you ask that just to hit a sore spot because he doesn't like talking about it.
It's funny you say that because one of the other questions, the other one I was going to ask is why aren't you on my bowling team anymore?
Oh, that's
That's
from
him
Chris.
say, yeah.
See, that's Chris doing what he does best, which is deflecting because he's responsible for me not being on the bowling team. I
Oh
mean, it's his
God.
family's team. He just didn't invite me back. I understand. I get it. It's like he wanted to be consistent, and every Monday night he wants to be able to show up and have his same bros there, and our schedules didn't allow for it. But you could have had a conversation. You could have called me and been like, hey, best friend, that we do everything together and we travel together often. Maybe we're gonna put somebody in your spot." Instead, I was just
He just
kept up.
iced you out.
Yeah, I think it says a lot more about him than me, so I'm fine with it. But
Man, this is TMZ level drama right here that we're gonna have to revisit in years to come.
yeah, I mean, fuck, I really is that.
Oh, next we need to have both of you on. That would be great.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to be in the same room as him, but if we're on different phones, that's fine.
Yeah, we'll do Zoom, so there's no it doesn't come to blows, you know. Totally switching gear here is do you enter any this could be CVS or any place. Do you enter when they say enter your phone number for benefits? Do you do that anywhere?
I only do that at Ralph's, and I think that's just
Okay.
because it was like one of the first places I signed up when I first moved to LA. But no, never at CVS. I used my sister's number for a while because I thought it was helping her out, and then I realized I was getting her discounts, and then I stopped doing that.
Oh man, that's funny because yeah, this is news to me. I did not know that. I was just putting my sister's number in, thinking she's getting some sort of there's accumulation of points somewhere. That's not true.
That's what I thought I was doing for her, but then I would like find out I was getting, 20% off this thing. I'm like, oh, I think I'm using her coupons.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
it's probably both. It's probably some sort of two-way street, but yeah. So no, in short, at Ralph's I do it, and I'm not sure why I do it because I don't think I've ever saved. There's like no point system at Ralph's for putting in your phone number.
Yeah, that's wild. I rarely do it for my own phone number. So good for
Yeah,
you. Do you have a favorite bowl in your home? Do you have any favorite dish that you use most?
Um, no,
No. As you can see, this is like award-winning journalism here. So
I,
just
I, I don't. I think my comfort is I do like, which is I guess kind of weird. I do like my food cold. So I guess the equivalent of like a favorite bowl comfort is like I just want to grab last night's dinner or something from the fridge and just eat it cold and not like heat it up. But I also am about 12 hours into a terrible stomach virus, so maybe that's not the vibe.
yeah, maybe I'll try not to ask any more food questions.
No, 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 it's fine. But not so much a bowl. I think it's I think it's more the routine than it is like the physical.
Fair enough. You just mentioned Ralph's. What was the name of the grocery store in your when you were young, when you were a kid?
Pathmark.
Pathmark.
Yeah, Pathmark. I grew up in Seaford, Long Island.
Okay.
There was a Pathmark which I could still see the dirt on the floors. I could still see the like layer of black brown dirt on these like white. It's not tile. Maybe it's small tile. No, it's like
Like
it's whatever.
linoleum?
Yeah, it's that. Um, and in retrospect, I think it was pretty disgusting, but it was all you knew, and it was great for the time. And then like you start going to some other shops, and you're like, okay, this was pretty. This was on the lower end of good.
Yeah. Where's Seaford on the island?
It's on the South Shore, so it's next to Massapequa.
Oh,
Uh,
okay. Yeah, yeah.
usually the response we get because nothing notable about Seaford, except that we're next to Massapequa, which has all of its like mafia,
Yeah.
um, and all American burger, which is a great cheeseburger. Um, yeah, kind of like it. I loved growing up there. It was amazing, um, but definitely a weird place. I'm not trying to move my family back there or anything, but it was a cool place to grow up.
I worked in Lindenhurst for a summer, so
Yeah, yeah,
I know all about it. And this is perfect segue to the next question. Is true or false? Long Island is the Florida of New York.
100%.
So
Totally.
I'm I live in Florida. Um, I'm from New York, and I spent so much time on Long Island. And every time I was there, I was like, this feels familiar. Feels
100%. I don't know if I've ever even heard it put that way. But yeah, completely. Maybe to every description of what that could mean, I think. But, it's like it's the conflicted relationship with the places you're from. You can't help but poke holes in it, but also have such a love for it. Um, Especially when you're a kid, you're not thinking about anything other than like, this is cool. I can ride my bike to the park and go to 7-Eleven, and like it was an awesome place to grow up. But you're 100% right. It's the Florida of New York for sure. But also Long Island is so big. There's so many different
yeah.
towns. People sort of hear Long Island and they're like, "Oh, you must know my cousin." It's like, no, it's actually huge. It's enormous.
It's huge. Yeah.
Really nice places and some really weird places, but yeah, it's interesting place for sure.
Um, that vibe that you just described is all through the album, all through your music. I am a writer at heart, and that's my main job. And I think some of your lyrics are just punch me in the heart in the best possible way. This
Thanks.
is me just fawning all over the wordsmithing. And in one interview I read while researching you, you had mentioned poetry. Do you read poetry? Have you read any recently?
Not really. And I think every time I've tried to dive in, it hasn't been the thing for me. Which is weird because I think my favorite thing about music is the lyricism and,
Mhm.
and that part of it. So it's strange to value that so much, but also not really. I don't know, something about like the practice of poetry feels like it takes it so seriously. Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know why I haven't been able to like dive in full heartedly. It could totally be a case of just not finding the right people to read. Like definitely feel more connected to reading a Leonard Cohen book of his poetry than maybe like a non-musician. Maybe that's my own shit or just like contextually how it sits, um but yeah, I love words so much.
Yeah.
So and love poetry.
Well, if I may, I've published a few books of poetry and it is out there. It is more storytelling narrative. I don't know if you're cool if I can send it to Zoe and she gives it to you.
Would love that.
I would love to send you a copy of the recent one too. So,
I would love that. Yeah, again, I feel like it's such a big it's such a it's like music. If you've never heard music before, it's like where do you start? You're like, I don't know,
yeah.
you can start with a record or that. I kind of feel like that with poetry where I've never had like a guide to be like, oh, these are the things I think you should start with and these are the authors or the poets that might ring true or whatever. And I know it's such a rich world, so
Yeah, but it has this weight to it. I think it comes from being a kid and whatever they made us read, and you're like, "Oh, this is I don't even get this." And then I happen to just go through the motions or like not the motions, but like I came up in New York, this New York punk rock poetry scene, and have everyone had their own different voice. I think, it's like wine. We're gonna find you the wine that you like.
I think that yeah, and I'm sober, so that's part of the
Oh,
problem.
I am too. So that's a terrible.
Yeah, so you shouldn't be telling me what to drink and I shouldn't drink it. So,
Let's say
but no.
sparkling water, the different flavors of
Yeah,
sparkling
is it
water.
Waterloo or is it just the club soda from Pathmark? Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Which one do you like? Like I tend to like the Pathmark, club soda.
So I'm not a big this is a big argument in our house constantly. I don't drink any water. I don't like the taste of water. Sparkling water, sometimes I can get behind if we're at like dinner and they're like still or sparkling. Maybe I'll have a half glass, but I don't know. I'm like I want juices or coconut water, coffee.
How do you feel about mocktails?
If they're really sweet, I'm in. But if they
Yeah.
try to sort of mimic what I've never drank, so I wouldn't know. But when they try to mimic what I would assume is the alcohol bitterness, I'm
Mhm.
not as in. But if it's just like a sweet, fruity drink, I'm so down.
All right, fair enough. Fair enough. Sorry for the wine reference. I'm gonna follow this up with possibly the dumbest question we have today. If you woke up and REM were in your kitchen, they will play one song if you make them one dish. What song are you requesting and what are you making them?
So I have such a vivid memory of being a kid and having um the single for What's the Frequency, Kenneth on cassette tape. So I'd probably make them a bowl of my favorite childhood cereal that I was probably eating downstairs that morning, like probably Frosted Flakes, or Rice Krispies with like a Splenda packet on top, because my dad was diabetic and or is diabetic, and we were introduced to the world of artificial sweeteners way too young. I'd make them a bowl of cereal and I'd ask them to play What's the Frequency, Kenneth.
Man, that sounds like a great morning.
It would be really, I mean, that would be a great morning.
Michael Stipe's a big listener, so we'll make it happen for you.
Oh, great. I feel like maybe something happened where I like posted something about REM and he reposted and I'm like, that's the coolest thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh man, that's bananas. What was it? What did you post?
I can't even remember if I'm being totally honest. It was like a year ago. But I mean I love REM.
I think you should like eat cereal and you're all over the social. Eat cereal, put what's the frequency Kenneth on it, give him a shout out, ask him to come to your kitchen.
I mean, that honestly wouldn't be so far from the realm of stuff I've done. So yeah, sure. 100%.
Let's do it. I mean, if you're selling seats, so I would like to, donate some and sit in the kitchen with that.
It can go one of two ways though. It's either like I find that those journeys are so much fun, and then sometimes when you actually get the guy or you get the person, it's like sometimes it's fun because they're in on the bit too, and you're like, oh, this is funny and like this is crazy. And then other times you're like, oh, this got too real.
Yeah.
Like you know who Will Blunderfield is?
No, who's that?
Will Blunderfield is this guy on the internet who's like a self-proclaimed health guru who just like drinks his own semen and talks all about how like you're supposed to whack off with your friends to be more of a man. Um, and he's out of his mind.
It's not a
But
bit. It's not a gag.
it's not. I mean, it's definitely shared across the internet as if it's a bit, but it's
Mhm.
not. What I can tell, it's very real. Um, but I contacted him to try to get him to conduct a ceremony for Chris Mintz-Plasse's birthday, and that felt too far. That felt like, oh, we're actually all going to be sitting around, and he's going to want us all to like jerk off with each other, and maybe that's not going to feel it's not going to be funny anymore at that point.
Oh, well, let me know how that goes. Oh man, you're making it tough to like follow up. You got good answers. Similar to what you were saying about like going down that rabbit hole. Whenever there's been times where we ask someone on the pod, and this is obviously a silly game, and you have to want to play along. And there's been a few people who like either don't get it or don't play along, and it's like, oof, it's excruciating. So thank you.
How many guests have you had?
We just passed our 200th episode, so we've had a
Oh,
shit ton.
wow.
Yeah.
Wait, now I want to look at the episodes and see who you've had on so I can ask if they were good episodes.
I'm trying to think. Oh, so you're in LA too. Local natives, you know them?
We played some shows with them.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so they're buds. They've been on I mean, in some form or another, they've been on like 5 times. So like Casey's been
Wow,
on.
you're correct. You're in 200 shows.
Yeah.
That's a lot.
We got a fun thing going, man. And people we admire keep saying yes.
Yeah, you have some really cool guests. Pete Yoren.
Yeah. He's coming back too because he has a new album coming out.
One time, me and Pete Yoren have the same booking agent, and it's actually very appropriate to your date today. It was our booking agent's daughter's 13th birthday or 14th birthday, and she wanted to have like a karaoke themed birthday, and me and Pete Yoren were the judges. That was my Pete Yoren story.
That's incredible. I'm writing that down. And when he comes back, we'll ask him. He helped us get Matt Pinfield too. So
I just met Matt for the first time the other day, um, and everything you want him to be.
everything you want him to be.
Just an encyclopedia of music and power pop, and you're like, oh yeah, you're you're everything I saw in 120 minutes and then some.
Yeah, it was the voice of my I don't know how old you are, but I don't want to say how old you are.
I'm
Uh,
37.
okay, so similar. I'm gonna be 42, so like his voice is just etched in my, 13, 14, 15-year-old brain.
I tried telling him that. I'm like, I have an older brother, so he was very
Hmm.
responsible for introducing me to a lot of stuff, including 120 minutes. But I'm like, yeah, like I very much remember hearing like the Muffs for the first time
Yeah,
and
wow.
Soul Asylum and all this stuff that was like very alternative Matt Pinfield centric. So it was cool to like shoot the shit with him and talk. We talked a lot about power pop. We were talking about like the Smithereens and um yeah, it was cool. He just knows everything and every song and every record and can go deep. And you're like, yeah, that's exactly who I wanted you to be.
Yeah, listen to his everyone listening here, listen to his episode too, because it goes places I can't even you won't even understand here. It goes from eyeballs to the craziest stories of him with like David Bowie and shit like that. It's insane.
I mean, he's been, yeah, yeah, he's been everywhere and has some story with everybody. It's crazy.
Since we're on music, what's your favorite emo band?
My favorite emo band. Ooh. Um, I feel like one of the more influential emo records I grew up on was Something to Write Home About, the Ghetto Kids.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
that was a pretty big one for me. Um, yeah, like growing up in Long Island, it was very emo centric, especially the time period I grew up. It's like I was kind of the generation below, but still old enough to see what was going on with like bands like Taking Back Sunday and stuff coming up. Um, but yeah, the Get Up Kids were big for me. Those first Dashboard Confessional records, I remember being like 11 or 12 and being like, this is really cool, and those holding a special place. Um, yeah, I think Get Up Kids is my final answer though.
It's a great answer. There are no wrong answers, but that is the right answer. Um, And then, so as we're wrapping this up, we end the episodes. Oh man, I got 10 minutes left of this recording. So it's perfect timing. Um, every episode we end it, we tack on a song from the guest at the end. What song of yours do you want us to include and why?
I would love to forfeit my own song and have you play. Are you familiar with Smokey Robinson's release from last year, Gasms?
Yes.
I'd like to play Gasms.
Okay.
Um, and if you're not familiar with Gasms and you're listening to this, this is a perfect opportunity for you to have your mind blown. Um, because of this song, we just named our tour that we were on the Tourgasm, and we began and ended every show with this song, with Gasms, because it's mind blowing that he talks about all the different kind of gasms you can have, like eye gasms and ear gasms, and there is not any sort of joke in the room. This is all
Yeah.
very
No irony at all.
no, no, none. Um, it's one thing to have him say, I'm going to sing this song about gasms. It's another thing to hire all the background vocalists to sing gasms. It's crazy. So I'd love to play that.
All right, cool. There you go. Hopefully the powers that be don't flag us. We've had a few guests prefer not their own song.
Yeah.
So yeah, fuck it. Here we go. Okay, and if you could interview a musician live or dead, who would you interview? But it's in the vein of bothering the band, so it's very stupid questions.
Hmm.
And what would you ask them?
God, it's so hard to get over my own like cynicism to imagine that. Um, One person who I've never crossed paths with in any way that I feel like I would love to have a conversation with and probably could err on the side of quirky would be Ben Folds.
Yeah, I think you would play along.
Yeah, I could definitely chat with Ben Folds. I'm a huge fan of his records and his bands, and um, I like that he feels. I don't know. Once you're in the music world, I feel like a lot of people are somewhat reachable, or like a guy who knows that. And Ben
Yeah.
Folds has always been like removed in a really cool way. Um, that would be a cool chat.
What would you ask them? Something silly?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'd ask him if he wanted to come to the Korean spa with me.
Okay, fair enough.
Those are the spas in LA where it's like you just get fully nude.
Is that the
I
one where
feel
they hit you with like stuff?
yeah, at some of them. I feel like that would be a real test of friendship of how down are you to go into this with me and Christopher Mintz-Plasse.
I'm gonna be in LA in September if you want to go. Coffee on me as well.
If you bring Ben Folds, yes.
All right, we'll give him a call.
Or who's from Florida? What big bands are from Florida?
Um, Tom Petty, LFO. There
Well,
you go.
he passed. They
Yeah.
dang Florida bands, not a good rep.
No, but then you got like Laura Jane Grace from
Okay,
yeah, is from here. I'm sure right now people are losing their mind that I'm not naming more.
I'm gonna save us.
Yeah.
Okay, Matchbox 20's from Florida.
Oh
Creed,
yeah, duh. I mean,
Glory, Dashboard Confessional. There you go.
there we go.
Yellow Card, Leonard Skinner, Less Than Jake. I'm
Not
skipping
bad.
one. In Sync, Backstreet Boys. Yeah, there you go. Lou Pearlman. I just
Yeah,
started watching a documentary last night. That seems dark.
it does seem dark. Matthew, what's next for you in Winnetka Bowling League?
We're going on tour with a band called Mother Mother,
Oh, cool.
and
Yeah, I know them.
and then we're going on tour with a band called Dawes. That happened to be my favorite band in the world, so I'm very, very, very excited about that tour, and very stoked about the Mother Mother tour because they actually took us out on our very first tour when we first became a band. So yeah, we're doing a bunch of that and starting to kind of chip away the very early stages of a new record because sort of by the time a record comes out, It feels like it's very old. It feels like it's Limp Bizkit also is from Florida.
Yeah,
Um,
those are the ones I was trying to ignore. You named
yeah,
most of them.
I don't know. Fred Durst has recently kind of won my heart. Like all the
Yeah,
tick,
he's doing his thing.
kind of fucking raging. Um, Great hair vibe. Yeah, the whole thing's cool. So yeah, we're gonna tour and we're gonna make music and hopefully we're gonna get bigger. So big that next time you ask to come on your show, I'll probably say no.
Okay, fair.
Yeah.
Fair enough. I will say this just to bring it back around to your buddy Chris. I asked him what his song of the summer was, and his was This Is Life.
I mean, it's definitely a lie because all he does is listening to My Morning Jacket and Dr. Dog. So there's no way
Yeah.
that he's actually listening to that song, but it's very kind of him to give us the plug.
Well, we definitely did talk about Dr. Dog and My Morning Jacket extensively,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. I just want to go on record and say that my least favorite band of the summer is Color Vision.
Ah, fair. Oh man,
Yeah.
so much
I
beef.
mean that more on a human level. Like the music's fine, but just as people, bad people. He's a bad person.
Oh, this is a first for bothering the band, just like beef.
We'll come on together and we'll work it out.
Yeah. I've done that with another friend's pod, so it's therapeutic.
Yeah, I like that.
Matthew, I can't thank you enough for doing this. This has been loads of fun. Huge fan, and I agree with Chris that that is the song of the summer. But Shalala is album of the year.
I mean, to a very specific group of people, I believe that to be true.
Well, just put your cynicism aside and just take it because in my household, it's been on repeat. My daughter loves it. Yeah,
That's very, very cool. Yeah, we're stoked that it's out there. It feels good.
it's good shit, man. And thank you for your time.
Oh, thanks for having me.
Hollister perfume made the boys dream of hand jobs. Got drunk in parking lots of shitty chain restaurants. A singing brand new way before Jesse got caught. The summers in Montauk before it got whitewashed. And all-time lows and all-time record highs. Friends from home like old ghosts from past lives. Comes and goes in a blink, in no time. This is life, 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 this is life. From being so broke, I did sex shit on Craigslist, to hearing I made it from people more famous. The way that your folks are security blankets, to wrinkled and racist and dirt on some pavement. The way we're taught to dance in the end zone. I think God's a dogger, the window, laughing at a joke only friends know. Oh, this is life, 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 this is life. No one gets to look in the eye. No one's getting out of here alive. Taylor says that we're all gonna die. First time I smoked at my big sister's condo, a mouthful of combos, one with the cosmos. Every thought turned into an obsession, a constant procession of theories on heaven. Like maybe death